Hello, this is a message for someone who's stuck in a bit of a toxic cycle regarding their spending. And this is for someone who has this thing, what they call it, retail therapy. They like retail therapy. If this message is for you, you have this thing, maybe since childhood, maybe your mother. I'm getting something about your mother had something to do with it when if like you were feeling bad, they would take you shopping. Or if they were feeling bad, they would go shopping. So your shopping is very tied to making yourself feel better, okay? So whenever you're going through a hard time, if this message is for you in life, like on an emotional, psychological level, you tend to cope by sort of, like if it exceeds your coping abilities, you go into this escapist mode where you start focusing on shopping. And I'm getting something about transforming maybe like rooms or something. Like maybe you want new furniture, or maybe you want new, getting something. I mean, I guess that's a very American thing, right? The changing about the things every so often. I mean, they do it seasonally too. I mean, this is something I think most Americans don't realize, that we don't really do other places as much. I mean, I grew up where we had this, I feel like in Europe, people buy like investment pieces more. They could also have something to do, I guess, with socioeconomic background, to be fair. But, there's even more wealthy people here, there's a thing about constantly renewing, that people like to redo everything new and redo rooms. I mean, they have all those channels about it, all those shows about redoing things and remodeling. And I'm getting that you get sucked into these fantasies of changing your life through changing rooms of your house. Okay? So you imagine that, say, we redo the kitchen, then you feel more fulfilled. And usually when you get one of these urges, and this is the part you may have not noticed, and is the message I've been getting for a specific group of people, right? That what you need to pay attention is what happens right before you get these urges to redecorate and completely change rooms. Because there's hidden keys there to your inner work, to your wounds and shadows. Okay, so say for example, with this example of the kitchen, you want to redo the kitchen. All of a sudden you're obsessed with redoing the kitchen, and then all you can think about is tiles and cabinets and appliances and and that's all you can think about. And you may be obsessing over Pinterest, is what I'm getting, and like curating all these boards of the ideal kitchen, and like you may go into extreme details of like kitchen flooring and kitchen cabinets. And this is an extremely busy job, actually. It becomes to you a bit of a busy job that sort of takes over your life too. Like when you actually execute on these projects, it may take over your life, and you tend to go over budget. And you do this though because you truly feel inside like this is what's gonna make everything better, okay? And that's how you might sell it to your loved ones, or whoever you have to compromise with on expenses or changes in the house. Like you may do actually a really good job at selling it. I'm seeing someone almost doing to the level of PowerPoint presentations. I doubt anyone's doing that these days, but maybe you do slides on the phone or whatever. Like, I don't know. I see someone putting like a lot of actual labor into executing this project. Sorry, I'm laughing, but like it's so outside of my personality. I cannot, for the love of me. I mean, I don't know if that makes me a lesser housewife or woman or something, but damn, it's just, yeah. This works for you though, and it makes you happy, and you're able to communicate to those around you how it will be good for all. And many times it is, except you do have this tendency towards overspending, and then inevitably, this is a pattern by the way. If this message is for you, this is a pattern in your life that if this is resonating, you're being able to see like, oh my God, this does happen. It's exactly like that. And it's not happened once or twice or three times. It's happened many times. Okay. So the pattern is you become obsessed. You convince everyone this is what we need to do. You get really excited, energetic. You get it done. Then you love it. But then you hit it. Like you go into an almost depression then. And then the bills come because you tend to sign yourself up for like things that are longer term or something. I'm seeing again something I don't know about, but something about longer. So like you do all these things and you're not thinking about the expenses, but somehow later on, something like 6 months, 12 months, I don't know, these probably are financing plans and things like that, where later it hits you and you hit these depressions and you feel like you have to budget. And then this is when you think of a new room to change. And that's the key. That's the key right there. You need to look at what happens right before. And what I'm seeing is you get into a depression about your spending. You can't face it. You can't face whatever situation you're in. I'm getting maybe you're in debts. Yeah, maybe you're in a lot of payment plans or something. And it's overwhelming and like it's stressful and it's a burden to your psyche. And like maybe it's manageable, but it is a burden to your psyche. And so how you deal with that, you go into another project. And the thing here is you don't seem to realize that this is what you're doing. But what you're doing is self-soothing, right? But it becomes this vicious cycle. And what I'm seeing is the 8. Which if you've been watching my videos, you know that that's something I see where there's like a karmic cycle. It's an 8, like an infinity symbol. It's like you're stuck in this energy feedback loop with yourself about your spending. Now, if you went really deep into this shadow work, this started again in childhood when with your mother, something to do with your mother. When you found yourself in a situation, psychologically, that was unmanageable for your mother, she took you shopping. When you saw your mother encounter a situation that was psychologically too much for her, she went shopping. And I'm not talking, oh, let's get a treat, make the day better. No, I'm talking on like shopping, unplanned shopping sprees, okay? It's not like, I don't know, I go on a deliberate shopping list. Every time we change seasons, I'll see like, is there any clothes I need? Is there any, you know, like necessities? And then also like maybe some pieces I want to invest in, but I'll like, you know, I'll be very like deliberate about it. I'll look at what I have or what I need or what I want to invest in. I'll decide the budget previously. And so it never gives me this stress. The stress you get is because you don't do that, because you're just coping. For your shopping, it's not a strategy. It's a reactive, impulsive adventure of, I mean, I'm getting fun. I guess we have a lot of fun with it, so that's good. That's really good, but the problem is you're having fun in a way that later sinks you into a depression. And again, you're just doing this as a coping mechanism to bigger problems you're not addressing. And those deeper problems have a lot to do with feeling a sense of powerlessness over your own, like, sadness is what I'm getting, or disappointments in life, okay? So here's the message. Next time, and you may be right now in an urge to redo a room, sit with it longer. First of all, make a strategy, make a budget, do something you've never done before. Instead of obsessing over the things, first make the budget. Maybe instead of changing the whole kitchen, get really objective about which pieces could make a big difference without it being such a huge project, okay? Change a few things and then address your feelings, okay? Don't live above your means, and then you will eliminate this horrible stress. It's something like, honestly, like if I could give anyone financial advice, would be like, don't live above your means, but that's just me. the message I'm getting is something about uncovering the deep inner wounds underneath it. So hopefully that was helpful.